Is your life already written down somewhere, or are you the one writing it right now as you go?
That's such a fundamental question, isn't it? Something pretty much everyone wrestles with at some point.
Absolutely. And today we're diving deep into, well, what I think is a really profound and honestly liberating answer to that. We're looking at free will versus destiny, but specifically from the Sanatan Dharma perspective.
And the sources we're drawing on are, well, they're incredibly rich. We're talking the ancient Vedas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, of course.
And also insights from more recent sages, people like Neem, Karoli Baba and Ramana Maharshi. So quite a sweep.
Definitely.
So our mission today, for you listening, is really to unpack this complex relationship. We want to help you understand what's actually shaping your path, and maybe more importantly, how you can find your own agency, your own liberation within whatever framework exists.
Yeah, it's about getting to a more nuanced understanding, moving past those simple, it's either this or that kind of answers.
Exactly. So where do we start? Let's go way back to the ancient roots.
Makes sense.
You've got this foundational idea in the Vedas. Karma shapes destiny. Simple statement, but huge implications.
Huge. And then the Brihadanaka Upanishad drills down into it with that really striking passage.
Oh, yeah, the one that goes, you become what your deep, driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny.
Powerful stuff.
It really stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? It's basically saying your inner world, your desires. They're not just floating thoughts, they're the actual engine, the blueprint for what happens externally. It draws this direct line: desire, will, action, destiny.
It does. And what's crucial here, I think, is how this early wisdom clarifies that destiny isn't some arbitrary sentence, like a punishment or a reward handed down from somewhere else.
Right, it's framed as a consequence.
Exactly, a consequence. And the texts introduce two key types of karma to explain how this works. There's prabha karma, which is basically the sum total, the momentum of all your past actions. You can think of it as the given part of destiny, the circumstances you're born into, the major currents in your life right now. That's the prarabdha playing out.
So that's the destiny part, more or less?
More or less, yes, the result of past choices. But then, crucially, there's kriyamana karma.
And
That's the karma you're creating right now in this present moment. That's your free will in action. It's the choices you make, the actions you take now, and these actions, in turn, shape your future destiny.
Ah, okay. So it's like the past sets the stage, but you're constantly writing the next scene with your current actions.
Precisely. It shows destiny isn't fixed in the sense of being unchangeable going forward. It's fixed only in the sense of being a result of what's already happened.
Yeah.
But your present actions are always creating future results.
Okay, so that ancient foundation is laid. Then we move to the Bhagavad Gita, which often feels so practical, so grounded in applying these ideas.
Very much so. The Gita takes these concepts and puts them into the context of life's battlefield, literally and metaphorically.
And you see this really clearly in that famous exchange between Krishna and Arjuna. I think it's chapter 18, verse 63.
Yes, that's the one.
Right near the end. After Krishna has laid out all this incredible wisdom, all this secret knowledge, he says to Arjuna, "Thus I have explained to you knowledge more secret than all secrets. Reflect on it fully, and then do as you wish." Do as you wish.
I mean, that's extraordinary, right? Here's Krishna, considered the supreme divine, in the middle of this, cosmically significant war. And he doesn't command Arjuna. He advises, he explains, and then explicitly says, the choice is yours.
It's incredibly significant. It highlights that even within what might seem like a grand, preordained event like the Mahabharata War, individual choice, individual free will remains paramount. Divine will in this context isn't about coercion.
So the Gita's balancing act is, how would you summarize it? Well, the Gita essentially says, look, your destiny, the situation you find yourself in, the game board, is shaped by your past actions and the broader cosmic order, dharma. That's the prarabdha part.
Okay.
But your free will is your absolute capacity right here, right now, to choose how you respond, how you act, what moves you make on that board. That's your kriyamana karma.
So the circumstances might be given, but the response is entirely up to you.
Entirely.
Yeah.
And that response then feeds back into shaping your future. It puts the responsibility and the power squarely back onto the individual, even amid seemingly overwhelming circumstances.
Which feels quite empowering, actually. It's not just being pushed around by fate.
Not at all. It's about conscious participation.
And this thread, this understanding, it doesn't just stop with the ancient texts, right? We see it echoed, maybe in simpler terms, by more recent masters, like Neem, Karoli Baba.
Ah, Maharshi, yes. His way of putting things was often disarmingly simple, yet profound.
He had that famous saying, "It's all perfect. Even your mistakes are part of God's plan."
Which can sound a bit fatalistic on the surface, maybe.
Right, that's what I was thinking. And then he used that analogy. Destiny is like a river, and free will is how you row your boat. The current might be set, the direction of the river, but how you navigate it, how you row, that's up to you. But still, people might hear the current is set and think, well, what's the point of rowing then? I'll end up downstream anyway. How does his view counter that potential feeling of, helplessness?
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
I think Maharshi wasn't advocating passivity at all. The current, the river, that's your prarabdha, the stuff you can't change, the accumulated results of the past.
Okay.
But the rowing, that's your kriyamana karma. That's your effort, your choices, your attitude, your skill in navigating within that current. You can row skillfully, avoid obstacles, maybe even steer towards a particular bank, or you can just drift or row badly and hit rocks.
I see. So the rowing makes a huge difference to the experience of the journey, even if the general direction of the river is set.
Exactly. The comfort comes from accepting the river, knowing there's a larger flow, maybe even a divine intelligence behind it. The empowerment comes from realizing you are the one rowing the boat. Your effort matters immensely within that flow. It's about conscious participation, not resignation.
That makes a lot more sense. It's both comforting and activating.
Precisely.
Then you have someone like Ramana Maharshi, who often approach things from, a different angle, sometimes through silence itself.
Yes, Ramana Maharshi points towards an even deeper layer.
He had that statement, "Free will exists for the person who thinks they are the doer. But for one who has realized the self, neither destiny nor free will have meaning. There is only what is."
That one takes you further, doesn't it?
It really does. It feels like it steps outside the whole debate. What's the implication there?
Well, Ramana's pointing to the ego, the sense of I that thinks I am the one choosing, I am the one acting, I am the one experiencing my destiny. He suggests that this very sense of being a separate doer is the foundation upon which the whole question of free will versus destiny rests.
So if that sense of I dissolves,
Then the question itself dissolves. For someone who has realized the self, the underlying reality, the Atman, there's no longer that individual ego setting its will against fate or claiming authorship of actions. There's just the natural unfolding. What is?
So from that perspective, the debate is kind of a symptom of not realizing the self.
In a way, yes. It's a question that arises from the limited perspective of the ego. When that perspective shifts, the question loses its meaning. It doesn't mean actions don't happen or choices aren't made, but the identification with being the separate doer is gone. Everything just flows.
Okay, wow. That adds a whole other dimension. So let's try and weave all this together. If we synthesize the Vedic view, the Gita, Neem, Karoli Baba, Ramana Maharshi, what's the unified picture Sanatan Dharma presents?
It's quite elegant, really.
It seems like we can break down. First, there's destiny. That's the playing field, right? The circumstances, the tendencies you arrive with, all shaped by your past karma, the prarabdha.
Correct, the given.
Second, there's free will. This is your capacity to act within that field, your choices, your responses, your efforts right now. That's the kriyamana karma that shapes your future.
Your active participation, yes.
And third, there's liberation or moksha.
Hmm.
This is the ultimate goal, which involves transcending both. It's realizing yourself as the Atman, the eternal witness, the consciousness that is actually untouched by the whole play of karma, destiny, and even the feeling of being the doer.
Exactly. That's the beautiful synthesis. It's not an either. Destiny and free will are both operational realities within the realm of cause and effect, within the realm of the ego. But the ultimate freedom, moksha, lies in realizing your true nature as the self, which is prior to and beyond that entire play. The Atman doesn't have a destiny. It doesn't exercise free will in the way the ego does. It simply is pure awareness.
So the real freedom isn't about winning the game of destiny versus free will. It's about realizing you're not just a piece on the board.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
You realize you are the awareness in which the entire game is happening.
Okay. This is profound, but how do we, bring this down to earth? How does this translate into practical insights for someone listening for your life today?
Right, the practical application. It flows quite naturally from this understanding.
So first step seems to be Accept the present. Understand that your current situation, the river you're in, is the result of past karma, prarabdha. Fighting it, resenting it, is wasted energy. Acceptance isn't passive resignation, it's intelligent recognition of reality.
Exactly. It frees up energy. What's done is done. The results are here. Okay, now what?
Which leads to the second step. Act in the now. Use your free will, kriyamana karma, consciously. Act with clarity, with integrity, according to your dharma, your sense of right action. This is where your power lies. This is how you plant positive seeds for the future.
This is the rowing of the boat. Act skillfully, mindfully.
And third, this seems crucial. Surrender the fruits, act fully, give your best effort, but then relinquish attachment to the specific outcomes. Offer the results up, perhaps to the divine, or just let go of the need to control exactly how things turn out.
Yes. This is karma yoga in action. The surrender isn't about giving up effort. It's about giving up the anxiety and attachment surrounding the results. And paradoxically, this detachment is what truly liberates you from the binding cycle of karma, because you're no longer acting purely out of egoistic desire for a specific reward or fear of a specific loss.
That letting go of the fruits, that feels like where the real freedom starts to creep in, even before full self-realization.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It breaks the chain of reactive cause and effect driven by attachment. It aligns your actions with something larger than personal gain or loss. It connects beautifully to that call from the Katha Upanishad, doesn't it? Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached.
That's a call to conscious action using that free will, isn't it? Towards that ultimate goal of liberation.
Precisely. It's an active, engaged path, utilizing the understanding of both destiny and free will to ultimately transcend them.
So wrapping this up, the Sanatan perspective isn't about seeing yourself as just a puppet pulled by strings of fate.
Not at all.
Nor is it about the burden of thinking you alone are forging every single thing that happens.
No, that's an ego trap too.
It's this beautiful, integrated view. You are a conscious being, making choices, exercising will within a larger cosmic framework shaped by past actions. You have agency, and there's also a flow.
A dynamic interplay.
And ultimately, whether you lean more towards seeing the hand of destiny or feeling the power of your own will on your journey, the insight here is that the real destination is the same, realizing the self. So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. What does realizing that deeper self, the witness beyond both destiny and free will, actually mean for your unique journey right here, right now?